The tarp is still here, so I must have done something partially right, but that bottom board was just flopping around. There's about 1.5 feet, and it just was moving around. Even though it was providing some weight, it obviously wasn't enough. So I just put these little 2x12 or 2x10 pieces of wood here, and then I screwed those into that board. That way, there's something just kind of holding it all together. Good afternoon, by the way, beginning farmer friends. It is just kind of a yucky day outside. It's mid-30s. It's been just sprinkling, raining off and on. They still keep telling us that we're in a blizzard warning area. We could get 3 to 6 inches and the wind could pick up a little bit. So far, it's just yucky rain. And in here, because of my tarp door, I can come in and work. Here's what I thought we could do today, because I don't have a ton going on outside. Obviously, it's rainy and it's muddy and it's yuck. And the tractor, well, if you watched yesterday's video, link above my shoulder here, you'll know what's going on with that. But I thought I could take some time to get things picked up a little bit in here, get ready for more stuff to come in. The house shed has things in it that need to come out here and get sorted. And so I thought I would do a little bit of that, but that's not very fun to watch. So I thought I'd answer some questions that have come in over the past couple weeks. If you have questions, you can always put them in the comments down below. I do my best to answer the questions in the comments, but I thought if one person had that question, maybe multiple people had those questions. That's what we're going to do today. Before we get started cleaning up the mess and get started on the questions, I did go to town and I just bought a cheap LED work light and a tripod, but I just thought it'd be a good idea to have one around. Not only can I use it now when I don't have any lighting in the shed above me, but if I'm working on a broken tractor, let's say, in the future, I can bring some light real close to it. So I'm going to get this set up and then we'll start cleaning up, sorting, and answering some of the questions that have come in. Here's my 10-second review of the Hyper Tough LED work light. Stand, horrible, chintzy, feels like it'll fall over if a mouse bumps into it, light, bright. That was a good review, I thought. The first question that I want to cover today is, let us know what you found out about the jack. Well, what I found out about the jack when I took it back to the store where I purchased it from is that they could not get it to go down either. They did the whole thing like I did. They tried pumping it up all the way. And also there is a little air bleeder back here. I don't know if that's technically what it is, but this is just a little rubber piece right there. And you could pry that back a little bit and then let the air out. They did it multiple times. Every time the air would all go out, you could hear the air all going out, and then the jack would come back up. There was obviously a leak or a seal or a fault somehow, but they gave me a new jack. It was leaking air. We'll see if this one works. We're 2 for 2. We're gonna keep the box though, and the instructions and the receipt all together because I don't know when the next time I'm gonna use it is, and I wanna be able to be prepared to take it back again if I need to. I'm going to sort all these tubs out, line them up, open them up so that I can see what's in them. As I bring stuff in, I can start sorting. I've still got that pile of toolboxes. I'm gonna place those in front of the tubs, see if I wanna take stuff out of the toolboxes, put them into the tubs. The tubs are going to be things that I don't see myself using very often. By the way, it is like snow raining right now outside. It is a combination of snowing and raining and getting a little bit more windy, so I don't know what this weather is going to do, but it's not very fun right now. The next question, though, deals with this area right here where the grinder mixer is parked. Let me answer that one. Once your big freezer is in, will you get rid of the smaller ones and just have the walk-in? I'm answering that question right here because Jack is laying right where we hope the walk-in will go. The walk-in, if you don't know, is the entire reason that we put cement, well, not the entire reason, but it was a big motivating factor for putting the cement in the shed here, getting ready to put doors on, doing this whole shed project. Kind of all was precipitated by the fact that we got a walk-in freezer. When we get it in here, and we're hoping to place it right here, which will leave about a 6-foot hallway room on that side over there. What we will do with the small freezers is get rid of most of them, keep 1 or 2 as a backup if we have a little bit of overflow, or if we don't have enough to run the whole walk-in and it fits in 2 freezers, which I don't really see that happening anytime soon, but if it does, we could shut off the walk-in and just use the 2 smaller freezers. It's just a bigger project than I thought it was going to be, so we don't have it yet. By the way, the person who asked about the freezer also asked about our livestock guardian dogs, like Jack and like Clara, who's sitting right back there. We'll answer that question in another time because I think it's kind of a little bit bigger, possibly more in-depth question. And I probably need to get some information from my wife because, again, much smarter than I am. Sort, sort, sort. That is a main thing of Lean Farm, is sorting, and that's what I'm doing right now. I've got piles of toolboxes in front of totes with like things. So like this purple tote back here, this is a fence tote. All these toolboxes right here and these toolboxes around the corner right there, those have to do with the fencing. Then I've got these toolboxes right here, and all of this kind of has to do with animal health and animal marking. I would love your opinion though on what I should do with these toolboxes. Initially, I thought these toolboxes would be great. I could label what they are, but I'm starting to think if I have toolboxes like this and I have those deep shelves like I have now that are 36 inches deep, these toolboxes are just going to get buried and I'm not going to be able to walk up and see what's in them, or I'm going to have a ton of empty space behind them. So what I'm wondering is, instead of having a different type of fence insulator in each one of these boxes, should I get some big like gallon, 2-gallon Ziploc baggies and fill those up and then put them in a plastic tote? Or should I come up with a system for the toolboxes? Comments down below. Let me know what you're thinking. Let's get to the next question though, because there's a bunch of them and I need to get going. Some questions I can do my best to answer, and then other questions I just have to tell you I don't know. This is an I don't know. The question was, how much firewood do you generally burn through? I honestly have no clue because I am such an on-demand firewood cutter and splitter that I never keep track of how much it is. I don't know how many cords I go through. I don't know how much I use. I can't tell you how warm we keep our house. We generally always have the house between 73 and 76 degrees because warm is nice. That wind is really starting to kick up out there, and as you can see, that board is starting to bounce around a little bit. I think we'll be okay. I'm not too worried about it, but I'll wake up early tomorrow morning and go stick my head out and see if I've got a door tarp on the building still. This next question wasn't in the list of questions asked, but I thought since my video was about this tractor yesterday, the 4010 breaking down, I thought I would give a little update on it really quickly here. The bucket of oil down below it is about 2 gallons of hydraulic oil that, as best as I can tell, came out of the seal on the shaft. I'm not going to be able to show you, but there's a shaft that goes from the engine back here into the hydraulic pump right there that makes everything spin. There's a seal around that shaft, and as best as I can tell, oil is coming out. It appears that it holds about a gallon of oil in it because it leaks out and then it stops. What's going to happen, I think, and I don't want to put words into my cousin's mouth, but I think this is what was decided, is that he's going to come get the 4010 because it's just done. Obviously, it's leaking hydraulic oil, and if I were to continue driving it, it would probably just get worse. So it needs to go and something needs to happen. It is kind of crazy that it is the same problem that the 4430 had, but it is what it is. The thing that will happen next, I think, is that he's going to bring me another loaner tractor, which, mind-boggling, I know. I just realized today, though, that one sad thing is going to happen. I'm going to have to take off these tire chains and put tire chains on the 4020 when it comes, if that's what I'm going to be loaned or whatever I am loaned. So I am not looking forward to taking those tire chains off. That part's easy, but then putting them on another tractor, that part is not as fun. Maybe, if we're lucky, we'll get my cousin to help out, and then we can do a real tutorial how-to video as opposed to how not to video, which is the one I made. The nice thing is that I'm getting a lot of toolboxes combined. When I had done the initial sort, I really didn't combine everything that needed to be combined together. Now, as I'm kind of going through it again, I am combining toolboxes that need to be put together. The next question is about doors. My tarp door that I've got over there, that's just temporary. I never intended that to be a long-term solution. That's really just to get me through the winter or until I get doors on, which brings me to this question. Are you going to try to get your doors on this winter or wait until warmer weather? My goal would be to get the doors on as soon as possible. This middle bay, as I step out into the snow and yuck, this middle bay right here is going to get a 16-foot door by 11 foot, I think it is. The door down there where I have the tarp, and the door down in this end where the freezer is going to go. Let's get back inside. It's windy and cold out here. Those doors are going to be a little smaller. When will it get done? I don't know. Like I said, I'm not opposed to doing it as soon as possible, but it's going to take two things. One, it's going to take money, and two, it's going to take a contractor to do it for me because, as you saw from me trying to put up this tarp, I don't think I can put up overhead doors. It's just not something that I have the skill set to do, and I want it done right. I do have a couple phone calls to make. I have one person that I know I can call. They did a garage door or a whole bunch of garage doors for another farmer that I know, and we have some family friends who are putting an addition onto their garage, and they have an Amish crew coming to do that, so I want to get that Amish crew over and have them give a bid. It's really just going to depend on the money and what the contractor's schedule is. But if it can happen in February and we have the money and the contractor has the time, that's when we're going to do it. I feel like we've made some good progress today, but in order to answer the last question that I have for today, we've got to go out in the mud and the snow and the yuck. The last question is about these little guys right back here, the rabbits. The question was, what breed of rabbits do we raise? And the answer is Champagne d'Argent rabbit. They are an older meat breed, a French meat breed, as you can kind of tell by the name. They are not commonly used as a meat breed anymore. You know, they're mostly a show rabbit, I would say, these days, but we've really enjoyed them as meat rabbits. I'm not going to say that you can just go out and buy any Champagne d'Argent rabbit and raise them on pasture. It's taken us a lot of years to cull and get to the point where we have rabbits that can grow on pasture and do well on pasture, but those are the ones we raise. That's the end of the video. It is cold, it is wet, I've done enough out here, we've made good progress. I'm going to go inside where it is warm and there is a fire and it is dry. I hope you all are having a great day wherever you are, whenever it is. Looks like we're in line for a miniature blizzard here in our part of the state.